I actually bought the whole United Kingdom island. That's why I ended up owning United Kingdom. I bought the whole place because it was so radioactive. It was so radioactive and it was just so dangerous, and no one could really live that close to it for such a long time that I just bought it. I was like, okay, I'm just going to buy all of from there to there. I own it. It's fine to mine. You can go underground around Windscale and you can mine underneath in the ground. No problem. No problem. And there might be a uranium mine still around in there. Anyway, you can mine underground, no problem. You can do a lot of things in the United Kingdom that are no problem. You just can't really exactly be on the surface so much. It's probably okay. Background radiation is probably fine now. It's been 500 years from when it was really bad, or 150 years. It's finally getting where it's okay. Finally. Anyway, though, for the longest time, there were ads all around the world, everywhere there's a newspaper. Work at Windscale. Come work at the pile, and there'd be interviews. You worked at the pile number one? Yeah, I worked at pile number one. How long do you work there? 30 years. Really? Yeah, any photos? Yeah, this is my friend Jeremy and my friend Tom. Yeah, we're retired now. Yeah, we worked there for years. Oh, yeah. Oh, we know all about it. We know everything. I mean, they didn't say all. They all didn't exist back then. We know everything about it. Yeah. We worked at Pile 1, Pile 2. Yeah. Yeah, I can't really talk about it. Anyway, there are interviews and all kinds of film and played on the news everywhere. Yeah. The workers of Windscale. Yeah. All of us, yeah, we worked there. Nope, nobody worked there. They worked there before it was Windscale, or some parts of Windscale. And even then, most of them got contaminated and died. Like I say, anyone who went to the United Kingdom between like 1500 and 1700 is dead. And like 1920s or 1920s is dead. Everyone died. It was known as the island of the people. It was actually known as the island that people don't come back from. The place that people don't come back from. It was so bad that other countries noticed. And people were shot to maintain national security. We cannot let them know. Like I say, there's a great many things that people were unaware of. And that is just how bad it was. Like I said, we didn't really know about Windscale exactly, or exactly what was going on in Windscale, until one of my aircraft was flying along. Because everyone knows LS had aircraft with cameras on them. It's documented from a couple of different countries. And we were testing out one of our brand new, really awesome telephoto lenses. And it was just after a storm. And there's a picture of it, a famous picture. Basically, there's pictures of the tents being on Windscale, about 5,000 or 50,000 or 150 tents, I believe. And every single one of those tents is lined with people. They didn't even have walkways to walk between the bodies. They were just lines of people. There's like about 150,000 people out there. And people would go in and they would stay there for a couple of days and then, they'd finally die. They would last, I don't know, a couple months. I don't know, severe radiation poison. Basically, take someone, radiate them as much as you can possibly radiate them until they collapse, and then put them in a tent and let them sit there, basically until the nurses that went to the tents. Actually, there were no nurses. There were people that would just go and pick up the bodies from one side. There were people that would bring the bodies in, put them down. And then there were people that would pick up the bodies so they wouldn't smell. And there was a pile of people out there somewhere in Windscale. Or somewhere. Somewhere there's this huge pile of bodies. They showed it. Like I say, and then they also had news reports. Yeah, what do you think about the pile around Windscale, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. I just do it in Nixon voice because it might as well be. But there's a whole bunch of people that they interviewed and stuff. Like, oh yes, we feel it's fine to live near the atom or whatever. Anyway, people were dying like crazy. 500,000 at least Somewhere closer to 2 million people died at Windscale, or died in that area, basically. Because people were also getting sick and dying a couple cities away from where whatever was going on in there. It's like this big black spot. I know that there were trains of uranium going to Windscale. They would load it in cars, and sometimes the cars would burst into fire and burn, basically. There's uranium ore like crazy. They were mining it, and they were using my steam engines. And I was wondering, and my conductors were dying. And I was wondering why my conductors were dying. Because they were using my steam engines and loading my boxcars with uranium. I think it was on a loan or something like that. They had borrowed the boxcars. Anyway. And they were older, like wooden boxcars or something like that. Or they might have had some steel ones. Anyway, trains were taking uranium there from some uranium mine. Just trucking it down the Windscale. It was actually for bombs, so they could carpet bomb the world with nuclear bombs. I had a couple bombs made that I was using in what's called in the Panama Canal. Mostly, I was using the cannons from my battleships. That's mostly what I did. I had plenty of coal. I had plenty of ships. I had plenty of everything. Of course, I wasn't trying to get a jump on radiation and uranium. But anyway, though. So I was using the battleships to dig the Panama Canal just for fun. And why not? It's cool. Boom! Every day. Boom! Wear some earplugs. And they could also do the firing from the fire control. They could actually control the turrets and everything from inside the ship. So they didn't even have to be in the cannons. They just had to load the cannons, go back down to the fire control, and then boom! So a skeleton crew could run the ship. It's a noise protection because those things are loud, really loud. So anyway, I was doing it that way, and that's why I had battleships and stuff like that. Anyway, LS and LC, they were LC ships or Lucifer Combat, or whatever. Just battleships basically, Lucifer cannons basically. They're known as Germany, but whatever. I had Germany and Russia and some other places. Meanwhile, the public, though, was being told that Windscale is fine, go work there, and people were coming in, and they're shaving their heads at the beginning, and then they were going up, and then they get closer and closer to the pile until it's like, ugh. Eventually, and I think they were actually, they might have actually moved the sick or dying people to some island somewhere. Because I remember the shot, it was by the shore, and these people were all up on this island, and there was like 150,000 of them or something like that they found. Like I remember water, because I remember the shot, and it's like there was this tent city there, this huge tent city. Then this tropical storm comes by, and blows all the tents off, and sucks some of the people away in the thing. And then there's all these sick people that are dying. And they're just laying out there in the mud, just like, and everybody rushes in. That we're going in, and Nixon, of course, and everybody else, or all the other people are like, oh yeah, we need to find out what's going on there. Finally. I mean, they were a part of the whole thing. The Republicans, the council for England. They just wanted the nuclear bombs as fast as they could possibly get it, and they didn't care how many people. Papa and others like waving like with his gold ring, as he nuked the city, one by one. They hit 3, and then they were carpet bombing when they ran out of nuclear bombs, because they only had like 5 or 6 or something like that, and then basically we found out about everything, and then they were kept carpet bombing everybody else, using up all the other bombs as many as they could. Like I said, they tried gassing people like crazy. They did a lot of really horrible things. There's a lot of really horrible between 1500 and 1800. It's basically just chaos and solid death for millions or billions of people. Anyway, so much so that it's like you wouldn't even believe it. And then they cover it all up so the future doesn't know, so no one knows. Anyway.